What's up guys? Are you looking for more cargo capacity in your Polaris RZR? Well, SuperATV has you covered with our cargo system for the Polaris RZR, and today we're going to show you how to get it installed, so let's get right to it. The first thing you're going to want to do is remove all 4 of your rear cage bolts. We've previously had a cargo system installed on this machine, so we don't have our OEM bolts, but yours will be there. There'll be 2 15 millimeters on each side. You want to go ahead and remove them. As you can see, ours are already removed. So then we're going to grab our side mounts. We'll have one which is going to be for the driver's side. It'll sit just like this. And then one for the passenger side that'll sit just like this. So we're going to start over here on the driver's side. And now you'll notice whenever you removed your factory bolts, your nuts would just kind of fall down in behind here. Now what I like to do is, I like to go ahead and just pull one of them out, set it aside for now, and get the other one, which will be the lower, obviously this one. We'll want to put that one in first. It just makes it a lot easier to get it installed rather than doing the top then the bottom. So we'll just take it and kind of feed it up towards the top. Alright, so once we have it lined up, we'll lay our side mount up here, just like this. And we'll take our provided Allen headed hardware, it'll be in the kit. Let's take it and we'll thread it right in to the nut. Once we get it somewhat started, I like to go ahead and take my ratchet, get a good couple turns on it, that way we know it's not going to back off or anything like that. Alright, so there we go, we got that good and started. So now we'll do the same thing, we'll get the upper nut, then take the other Allen headed screw that we have in the hardware kit. And we don't want to tighten these just yet, we just want to get them good and started, and then we'll repeat the same steps for the opposite side. So there's one started. And again, we'll just go ahead and run these in just a little bit, make sure we got them good and started here. Alright, so our side mounts are on. Now we're going to grab our crossbar. We're going to go ahead and remove all of the 10 millimeter screws holding the cage bracket on. Set all these aside for just a second. So we're going to take a crossbar here and try to get it as center as we possibly can. Once we have it laid up here, you can kind of rotate this down. Take your clamp, slide it on, and get your holes lined up, and go ahead and get your screws started. I like to do one on the top as well as one on the bottom. That way it kind of holds it in place a little bit there. So we got one on top, and we'll do one on the bottom. Then we'll just go ahead and start the rest of our screws in the other 2 holes here. I like to just run these down by hand as far as they'll go. So it'll look just like that. Then we'll do the same thing for the opposite side. Just get it lined up, get a couple screws started. This side's much easier just because now the opposite side will hold some of that tension for you. So we'll get them started and we're just going to run these down. And once you got them to where they kind of touch, they'll kind of stay in place a little bit there for you. So if you look right here where you have your stock harness mounts, we're looking for the distance in between the harness mount to the actual crossbar. We want that to be the same on either side. If you get it set up perfectly right there, then that'll be the center of the cage. So you can take a measurement, from here to here, just make sure that your measurements are the same. We have ours pretty close. We're going to go ahead and snug the hardware up just a little bit. We may have to move it around some. Just try to get this as flat as we can. Alright, so we got that pretty flat. We're just going to snug this side up as well real quick. Alright, so now that we have our brackets on, everything's kind of laid up, mocked up in place where it needs to be, we're gonna go ahead and actually grab the top portion of our cargo system. What I'm gonna try to do here is get it lined up. With the latches, we're gonna lift up on the cargo system, and we're gonna line our hole up right here. Once the hole's lined up, we'll take this bushing. So we'll get our bushing slid all the way through. Then we'll take our sleeve, slide it into the bushing, and then we'll get our M10 hardware, slide it through. Then on the inside, we'll take our nylock nut, get it started. And then we'll go over to the opposite side and repeat the same steps. Then what we're gonna do is get it lined up with the latches on both sides. We'll get it to latch. We'll kind of see where and how far we can pull our latches in order for them to make good contact, but also not make contact out on the outside, or the inside, I should say, where it could cause it to get hung up. So we have this side over here set up pretty good how we want it. We're gonna go ahead and tighten the hardware up. And you wanna make sure you get these bolts really tight. We'll do the same thing for the opposite side. Next, we're gonna go ahead and grab our gas strut, and we're gonna attach it in 2 locations. So we'll go ahead and take the nut off of our gas strut here, slide it through just like this, and take the nut off of the other side of the gas strut, slide it in right there. Let's go ahead and put our nut on, then repeat the same step for the opposite side over here. And we'll just go ahead and fully tighten up the hardware. And you'll just want to go through, check and make sure it's still latching good. Check it, make sure your gas struts are working good. Close it down. Everything looks good, so we're just going to go ahead and fully tighten all the hardware and make sure everything's good and tight. Whenever you tighten these bolts, you want to make sure that you get them tight, but you don't want to over tighten them. Otherwise, it may make it harder for your cargo system to function properly. So in the kit, you're going to see you have some panels here that you can install if you'd like. If you'd like to install them, we send the hardware to do so. It'll be your short M10 bolts. And you can put them a variety of ways. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick example of how we're going to set this one up. We're going to install it just like this, drop our hardware down through here as well as here. Then we'll just go on the bottom side, go ahead and get our nuts started. It doesn't affect the functionality of the cargo system whatsoever. If you want to do something different on top, that's totally up to you. This is just kind of a start to doing some organization or utilizing the panels however you'd like to use them. Once you have them all installed how you'd like, you can just go through, fully tighten all the hardware. So as you can see, guys, the SuperATV cargo system for the Polaris RZR is built for battle. If you guys have any more questions on this cargo system or any of SuperATV's great products, feel free to give us a call or check us out online. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.